Hello everyone. After that rather disappointing Odin experience, today I'm gonna return with the Ägir, a cruiser I've actually learned to enjoy a fair bit. And this game is rather amusing, because not just is it another full tier 9 match, but I had some rather unexpected opposition. You see that guy, the Creed that's Yuro, his EU account. And he's actually in a division with another Alaska player. So they got a double Alaska division going, which obviously in a tier 9 game, Alaska is absolutely brutally powerful. I've featured that ship in the past, so I know I'm gonna have my hands full trying to basically turn this into a win, because Alaska kind of fulfills a lot of roles. Long-range fire support, close-range brawling, radar against DDs, it can take on any cruiser easily. It's just a really rough experience. And of course Ägir is, well, especially because I'm running a very meme build, it's more of a little German Meme-boi. So making this work against what is going to be probably a pretty tough game will be a challenge, but one I will rather happily embrace. First things, of course, we turn around. You don't want to be caught nose in against Alaskas. Those improved pen angles and that fantastic pen will absolutely dumpster the Ägir if you get caught in it. I do, of course, want to thank you guys for all the subs. You guys have been subbing a lot to me on YouTube, and I really appreciate it. We are at 92.5, I think, so we are only 7.5 away from that 100k, which means another big giveaway. So thank you for your support, as always. What I do is I turn my ship around. As I mentioned in my previous Ägir commentary, this ship, the main guns on this ship are actually complete trash. You don't want to rely on them at all. Now, on my stream, I tend to call the secondaries the main battery. And I tend to call these main turrets, I tend to call them the secondaries. Basically switch it around, because in terms of effectiveness, the secondaries are far more powerful. And on this map, there is a little gap. You see where the island, there's a little dip. I know for a fact that a lot of secondaries can actually target ships through that gap. And we can see Yuro is pushing in with his Alaska, and we're kind of outnumbered on this flank. They got 5 ships pushing in. We're only 3 of us, with the Donskoy kind of AFKing and slowly coming in. But we're playing a German Meme-boi, and I select the Alaska as my secondary target, and once I reverse just far enough, well, they start opening up. And keep in mind, I am still undetected, and of course, secondaries firing, it doesn't affect your concealment in the same way. And you can see the damage counter up in the top right. He's wondering what the hell is going on. Why have I taken 6,000? 7,000? Why have I taken this much damage? And he's basically in full reverse, trying to get the hell away from these secondaries. This is of course with Gunther Lutyens, so the more shell hits I get, the closer I get to proccing that Gunther Lutyens special. So it's about, what, 12k damage, and reverses far enough behind the island to kind of get out of the range. I keep, of course, reversing to try to keep him in range, while at the same time making sure I don't get spotted by his team. 17k damage, and I finally switch to the next target. The Donskoy, trying to peek around the island, and he becomes the next secondary target. At this point, I haven't actually landed any main battery hits. I've only landed secondaries, 73 of them. His teammate though, division teammate, goes out wide to get vision of what's going on. I, however, switch my secondaries to the rune, because I see that he just ate the torpedo. And of course, these secondaries, because you don't need to spec IFHE with this build, they are very good at starting fires. The main guns do a fair bit of damage, but the key point here is naturally those mean secondaries. And I don't have time to farm them quite as much as I'd like. Alaska blaps me quite hard, that is of course the threat. I don't want to take any sort of straight engagement with this Alaska. Ägir will not benefit from that, especially since I know they're a division, and with the Musashi pushing in through the center as well. Any sort of direct fight, well, you can see that. That was 11,000 AP from those main guns. So I will get steamrolled if I try to take a direct fight. And there comes Yuro as well, supporting his teammate and also blapping me for another 9k. So we move away. They don't really have anything spotting me, so I'm not panicking in any way. I'm just slowly moving outside of range, but I don't want to glide too far, because positioning is key when it comes to playing the Ägir. This is not a particularly easy ship to play. It's very, very positionally demanding. But when you find these juicy positions, like here, there's another little gap in the islands, and we select the Musashi as our target. Our secondary range is 11.5. We slow down so we don't glide too far, and we wait for him to reach that perfect gap, and as soon as he does, it's time for the fireworks again. And this poor Musashi is wondering what the hell just opened up on me. Gunther Lutyens gets procced 7 minutes into this match. That's 100 secondary hits to proc Gunther Lutyens, and that's of course a 15% reload buff on these meme secondaries. And now he's cursing his existence. I really do enjoy this ship. I'm probably gonna get it nerfed, because Wargaming is gonna look at this and go, someone is enjoying a German ship again? Because I really enjoyed the Odin. So they're probably gonna kill it because of this, so I apologize. I apologize beforehand. I don't want to use my main guns, because if I shoot, my bloom range gets increased, my spotting range, and I do get spotted. He does damage Kondo, and the Alaska, if you look at the minimap, he's just gone out of my range. That nerfed range actually kind of working in my advantage. I would have gotten spotted if it wasn't for that. So I'm trying to use these pitiful main guns to start a fire on him, as he has used this damage Kondo. Donskoy pops up around the corner, I select him as my secondary target, and I of course keep targeting the Musashi. Donskoy quickly backs off, and our goal is once again to start a fire. But these main guns, well, I've spoken about them a fair bit if you watch my stream. I really do despise them. I in no way build for them, I in no way rely on them. This ship is an absolute meme, and you need to play it around the secondaries if you want to not just have fun, but if you want to be successful. I finally, with the third volley, I finally start a fire on this Musashi. With his damage gone down, I know that's going to be a permanent fire. I'm gonna try to get one more hit in. Oh, the torps just ran out, but I think if I can get one more hit in, maybe a second fire, and if someone else also shoots him, that should be a dead Musashi. HE is out, someone else chips in with AP as well, and he goes down to low enough that my permanent fire can finish him off. Permanent fire, of course, means fires that you can't repair. They don't actually burn for forever. I've had people ask about that in the past. So, the Ägir memes have kind of bullied them away from this flank. Bullied away the Alaskas, bullied away the Musashi, and we have a fair bit of map control on this side right now, because, well, even with 3 radars and those strong ships, they are simply afraid to push around the corner. I don't think they're afraid of the Shanbard, because Shanbard can't overmatch the Alaska. No, what actually really scares away this Alaska division is the German Meme-boi. Because these secondaries just, they are really rough to deal with, especially when you use them from behind cover. The division is taking a second triad. They're going on both sides of the island, trying to push into sea. One to back up and the other closer, and of course the idea is with overlapping radars. In fact, our Z46 who tried to go for that cap, he gets radared I assume, and he's probably going to get killed off. Yep, there he goes. Triple radars and triple cruisers. Yeah, there's no way you're going to be able to get that cap. So they get a kill back, so we're even on kills, and they are actually flipping B. The enemy Friede Grosse is pushing in. Obviously, at this point, the rest of my team is kind of pushing around all the way around the island. So if I go with them, we'll have no one left to really contest this cap, and they might even be able to flip it. So we're just going to push in, and we're going to see if we can make these secondaries do some additional damage. Friede Grosse shoots me. I'm already turning out though, predicting this move. He doesn't take quite enough lead, and I get away with taking no damage. The HE all shatters, even with that improved German penetration on the FDG. Pretty bad luck. Oracle pushes into the cap. I'm gonna keep gliding forward. He's obviously already my secondary target, and I want to create enough gap between me and him that my secondaries can lob the shells over the island. We know that gap. We're looking for that gap again, and by gliding just far enough, oh, he gets in a pretty good shot of like 8k damage, but we have found the gap. And the main guns of the Ägir are singing again. 3 resets on him instantly, and it just keeps raining. He tries to take a fight with them, but I am quite angled. Well, he does some damage, but I'm quite angled, and this 90mm belt on the upper, basically the upper belt of 90mm is just denying him most of his damage at this point. And as I mentioned before, the secondary angles are far better when you're booty towards the target instead of front towards the target. You actually get more guns to bear. He blips me for another 11k. But I've started multiple fires on him, and he's forced to completely abandon the cap and reverse back into cover. Those secondaries, while I was fighting the Friede Grosse with the so-called main guns, those secondaries bullied that Alaska away from the objective. FDG gets reset as well. These so-called main guns don't really do too much, so of course I'm trying to reverse and get my secondaries on him to see if we can actually get some decent damage in. They have managed to take a ship lead at this point, so we are 5 versus 6. Points are still very even, 7 minutes 50 remaining, but this FDG is very overextended. I call back my Jutland, I don't want him pushing in there with all those radars. If he gets randomly radar, that's going to be the end of him. A permanent fire on the FDG, trying to get into that secondary range, hoping he would push just a bit further, but that combination of AP and even the torps will finish him off, unless my burning fire actually finishes him off as well. At this point he's guaranteed dead with no real escape. The Jean-Bart kills him off, so no fire kill from me. We managed to even it out to 5 versus 5, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get my secondaries to bear on this division. But at this point, it's not that, I would say it wasn't a big need, but then I see my Jean-Bart on the other side of the map for some reason rushing in all alone into an FDG and DD crossfire. So he's gonna get himself killed, so whatever advantage we have is about to go down the drain. I tell him to get back, he doesn't really listen, and he's gonna go down. So at this point I'm a bit worried, 5 versus 4, all this firepower, need to find a way to get some damage in. Yuro overextends a bit too far behind the island, and I shoot to aim for his superstructure with that HE. And the dispersion isn't the best, but I do manage to get a fire on him. They instantly counter it by radaring me though, that is that power of that division, and his division mate pushes in, firing AP. However, by pushing in of course, the secondaries start shooting. At this point, I'm not even trying to use my main guns. Well, I call them main guns, but the main guns are already shooting. Those two front turrets are basically useless, and I treat them as a decoration. Meanwhile, my secondaries are singing, and this Alaska is absolutely being shredded. He tries to reverse, but it's far too late. The secondaries kill him off. Instantly switch secondary target to the Donskoy, who's YOLOing. Using my main guns as well. And he also gets killed off. So we go from being down a ship to being up a ship. A guy in chat is typing a lot of weird stuff, by the way. I think I have no idea. At some point he said he accused me of telling something about me talking about a radar, but I actually haven't said a single word all game. I've just been playing around this flank trying to stop this division from getting anything done. But he's very, very furious at me, and he told me, he said in chat that he was reporting me and all sorts of stuff. I completely forgot Donskoy has 8 game torps, by the way. I wasn't really paying attention to those, but we're going to treat that as intentional AR buffing, and that's what we're going to treat it as. Right now, I'm not too worried. We have a camp advantage, ship advantage, and point advantage. So they need to push in and get something done, and I'm glad that my team... Oh, here we go. Jutland... Oh, here we go. He's writing a creed in both teams, question mark. Dear Alaska, play with our Ägir, no comment. Oh, apparently I'm playing with... Well, in a way, I guess I am playing with him, but I don't think I'm actually playing with him in the way this guy in chat thinks I am. He's absolutely furious, and in a way he's correct, but probably not in the way that he intended. This Yugumo tries to go for this cap. His AA starts opening up on the spotter plane. He does turn it off, but actually no, he's still shooting at it, but I do pop my Hydro. And keep in mind it is German Hydro, which means 6 km range, and he's well within that range, and he has no way of disengaging, and my Izumo actually finishes him off with his secondaries. So now they're in real trouble. 4 minutes remaining, but Yuro hasn't been seen in a long time. I doubt, at this point, I doubt he's actually going to try to push into this camp. It is a possibility, but it would leave him in a crossfire. So I'm starting to suspect that maybe either he's going to help the FDG, so they have 2 people on the same flank, or he's going around the island to create basically ambush my Jean-Bart. That is probably the bigger likelihood. So I'm going to try to reverse into the cap. Well, in normal ships it would be reversing. In the Ägir I would consider this pushing, because we are leading with our main armament. And the idea is to get my secondaries on the FTG and maybe on the Alaska if he pushes around. You say Ägir radar when I capping C and Alaska active. This guy is absolutely convinced that the reason he's dying is because of some sort of vast conspiracy. Oh well, I guess we're gonna get reported. My bad. Regardless, at this point I'm almost certain Alaska is gonna push around, and that's exactly what he does. However, I'm in a really good position to take him on, because I got my main back turret on him, but more importantly, my main guns are within 5 kilometers. And of course, with this dispersion against Alaska's 27mm nose plating, these things are absolutely filthy. Our Shunbart is gonna get blapped, but there's absolutely no way this Alaska is gonna get away from this. Secondaries open up, main guns add a bit of fire damage to it, but of course he gets really quickly shredded. Shunbart blaps him for a bit just before he goes down, but the secondaries, the booty of the Ägir, hunts him down and finishes him off as well. So now we are 3 versus 1. The FTG, the ships are pretty low, he could perhaps still get something done. He does take a volley at me, and it turns out he's a secondary build. Well, this German Meme-boi is more than happy to take this secondary battle. At this point I look at chat, I was wondering what the hell, I didn't see it the first time around when I was streaming. I only noticed it now, so sorry about that. I was checking like, what the hell is this guy on about? The secondaries open up on him, instant fire, 22 hits, 26, they just keep farming. This ship is so disgusting because look at the dispersion. It's that Graf Zeppelin secondary dispersion formula, and he tries to reverse out, but obviously I'm just gonna keep pushing him and keep closing the distance to get these secondaries in on that target. 71 secondaries, they just keep farming him. Another fire. He's melting. He's melting. His secondaries are on the Izuma, so I'm just basically getting free farm at this point. And I tried to get my kind of fake Kraken, and I actually managed to do it. Game ends! 198,000 damage. 63 main battery hits, 5 kills, 15 fires, 7 defended caps, and 413 secondary hits. The Steam score didn't really give us that much XP, sadly, because, well, we were doing a lot of damage to BBs, and that tends to not really reward you with XP the same way as you normally would. Looking at detailed report, though, it shows the true amusement of this ship. My main guns did 47,000 damage. My secondaries did 101,000, and the fires did another 50,000 on top. I'm not sure how many main battery fires I started, but it's pretty easy to say that my secondaries probably did 130, 140k damage this game. Far more than my main battery. Well, as I said, I don't really call it main battery on this ship. Looking at, it gets even more amusing when you start looking at the individual damage. Oracle, the first Alaska, I only hit him with 2 AP shells, but I did 33,000 with another 5,000 in fires with my secondaries. And Yuro, who tried to push in at the start, well, he lost 25,000 to those secondaries and another 2,000 to the fires. This Ägir just stopped this Alaska division completely in their tracks. I'm sorry, but they're probably gonna get I'm probably gonna get this ship nerfed, which is really, really tragic because this German Meme-boi is absolutely hilarious. I'm still running the exact same build as in my original commentary for the ship. You can find it just look at my vids. And as always, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, and this upcoming Saturday, we got King of the Sea EU final and then EU versus Russia finals. So make sure you tune into that one because it's going to be very, very spicy. And I think there's a lot of King of the Sea containers up for grabs as well. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Good night, my dudes.